Hi, welcome to lesson number 3 of the API series. In this entire series, we are introducing you to the concept of APIs and how exactly BAs can contribute to development of APIs. It also tells you about how you can write user stories specific to the API development that is being done by your team. Okay, so today's session is specifically on how to write user stories for API and how to document APIs in a user story format. So if you're watching lesson 3 and you have not yet completed lesson 1 and 2, I would suggest go back to lesson 1, complete lesson 1 and then lesson 2 and then come to lesson 3 because this entire series is a continuation. Okay, you will not understand the concepts if you directly jump to a particular lesson. So click on the link in the description box and watch lesson 1 and lesson 2 and then come and watch this video. We have always seen user story examples with respect to a user doing something, right? User has to view particular details, and for that he has a specific goals. So anyone can just tell me what is the user story format that we follow. Let's brush up on our details before we get into API user stories. Otherwise it will be Greek and Latin for you if you don't understand the basics. Come on.
The story would be like, as a customer, I
Hmm.
want to manage items in my
Correct.
shopping cart so that
Hmm.
I can shop for products online.
Hmm. That's for managing items, like editing, deleting, and everything. As a customer, I would like to manage
As a customer,
items in my shopping cart so that I can manage shop for the items that are required, shop for items successfully,
Yeah.
make updates to the cart items.
So Sajna, as a user, what are we doing and what is the benefit we are getting out
Correct.
of it?
Good, good. That's correct. That's the format. As a user, I want to do something in order to achieve something. Okay, so every user story has a goal attached to it, so that which makes the developer very clear about what is the intention of that user story. Okay, so every time that we speak about user stories, we speak about user stories in the context of a customer doing something, or a bank manager doing something, or a policy holder doing something. We always talk about the end user who is performing an action. So in APIs, the user changes. That's a big change here. The user changes. Here, we are talking about when we say as a user, we are not talking about the policy holder or the customer who's placing an order. No, no, no human. We are talking about the system, because one system is interacting with the other system, right? You as a customer, you're not doing anything. In the Amazon website, when you place an order, the it's the system that goes and posts that information in the order management system and generates an order ID. So that's the reason you will see this as the major change in the API format writing. So remember, when you are documenting user stories for APIs, you write it in this particular format. Take a look at these examples that are given. Let's say there is a retrieve customer details API. Okay, your your development team has written a API that will retrieve the customer's details. So in order to cover the details of this API, you write, as a system, I want to fetch customers' details from the customer API using customer ID so that I can display accurate customer information in the CRM dashboard. So the goal here is to display accurate information, right? That's the reason we end with that particular goal, that accurate or appropriate customer information is displayed. Now, acceptance criteria for this. Take a look at this. How it is written. Now, this is written in the given when then format. Remember that. So, given a valid customer ID, when the system calls the customer API, then it should return name, email status, whatever is that API returning. So again, you have the request, which is the request goes with customer ID, and the response is with name, email, and status. And it, of course, being the acceptance criteria, it has gone ahead and captured error condition also. If the customer's ID is invalid, then the API should return an error message.
In the user story, it is mentioned as a system. I want to fetch customer detail from the customer API. So here the customer is mentioned as two identities, or it's only one entity.
No, here, see, you can, if the API's name is retrieve customer details, you can mention retrieve customer details. Whatever is the name of that API will come over here. Okay. Here, in order to make everybody understand, I've written that this is the API that retrieves customers' details. So I've given retrieve customer details. Okay. Now you have to ask your development team what is the name of that API. So that the name of that API will come here. So
Okay.
might be customer
The
API,
name of the API.
customer details API, whatever.
But ideally, it is basically in another system,
Yeah.
correct?
It
So it could also be written as from the system API,
no. You can't write it like that.
from another system API.
Every API will have a name. There is an API name given to it. So you have to refer to that name. From another system, that becomes very generic now, which, see, your system might be interfacing with several other systems. It's not
Correct.
that always you will interface with only one system,
Yes. So
right?
from another system API bracket, so API name, like this kind of.
Yes.
It means like this, right?
Yeah. Give the specific API name, whatever is that API. You'll get it from the developer team. You don't need to break your head on that. So this is an example of API written. Now, place order. One more example, 3 examples I have. So just like retrieve customer details I've shown, now placing the order is posting the information, right? So what will you do in order to post information? As a system, it goes on the similar lines. I want to send order details to the order API, again, the name of the API here, so that the order can be created and confirmed with an order ID. Okay. Here, if you want additionally, you can, after the order can be created and confirmed is there now. You can also in brackets indicate what is the order details that are sent in the response. You can mention that. Okay. What they have done here, they have gone ahead in the acceptance criteria and given a clarity on that. Given a valid order request, customer ID, item list, payment method, when the system calls the order API, it should return an order ID and confirmation status. So they've kept the user story very simple, saying that order details are sent to the order API and order is created and confirmed. Acceptance criteria, they have given clarity. Okay, order details means what order details, customer ID and all of that. And the response includes the ID of the order and the customer confirmation status. This is a very nice way of writing. Otherwise, your user story becomes very clogged up when you write too many things in the brackets and all. Okay, so you'll see acceptance criteria is giving complete details about the request and the response. Then look at this one delete API. As a system, I want to remove a product from the user's shopping cart using the cart API so that the cart reflects the updated items. removal of a product. We all have done that, right? We have added some items in the shopping cart and then we thought, okay, I don't want to buy this. So we removed it. So if a user is doing that, use a cart API is used, and this is how you'll cover that. Now, given a valid product ID, when the system calls the cart API, then the item should be removed and the updated cart should be returned. If the product ID does not exist in the cart, then the API should generate an error. Okay. This is another condition. So you, in your acceptance criteria, you will cover all those conditions in which you feel that API might fail. And when you do a discussion with your development team, they will give you more insights on it. Where the failure conditions can occur, they will tell you that. So all of this will get clear in your discussion with your development team. Writing user stories, I've taught most of you, and you're very clear. So far, you have been writing user stories in the context of the user performing some action. You just have to change the focus a little and think about, oh, now the system is performing some action. But the format and everything remains the same. There's no change. There's no change to the format of the user story. It remains the same.
So here in these examples, the acceptance criteria format is given with them, right?
We will learn that in the other class. I told you in upcoming class, we will learn that given with them. But that's not specific to API, Nimit. Don't worry. It's not specific to API. Even when then can be used for if you're writing acceptance criteria for the normal user also. That's just a style of writing. Okay. The style of writing that I taught you in the last class, which was plain bulleted way.
Correct. That was in the normal communication.
Yes, you can use the same format for API also. That's not given when then is not specific to API. It's nothing to specific. It's just a style of writing which is followed in some projects. So that's all in this session. I will see you in the next session where we will introduce a new concept of API. Bye.